Hello everyone, this video is really for my subscribers, and I wanted to give you a quick update on a recent security release by Drupal that came out 2 days back, which is on September 16th. And we have 5 different vulnerabilities that are reported by Drupal on 16th. Most of them are related to some kind of cross-site scripting. 2 of them are a little different. One of the cross-site scripting vulnerability is marked as critical by Drupal, and I would recommend that you review this and make a decision, and if you can, apply the patch as soon as possible. And a lot of version, anything like Drupal 8 and prior, they are affected, and they have got patches for certain versions, but even where they do not have a patch available for end of life versions, you should still update where they have up to a version where they have the patch available to be secure. All right, let's take a quick look at the vulnerabilities here. So we'll start with this one, CVE 2020-13668. This is the only one that is rated as critical, and if you see all 3 of them here, they are some form of cross-site scripting attack. The first one, the one that we're looking at over here, here an attacker could leverage the way that HTML is rendered for affected forms in order to exploit this vulnerability. And usually cross-site scripting is widely exploited, and you should take care of that problem as soon as you can. The other 2, 13666 and 13669, they are marked as moderately critical. They are also a type of cross-site scripting vulnerability. The middle one, the way Drupal API handles JSONP, which is not disabled by default, could lead to a cross-site scripting attack. This one, third one, if you are using CKEditor image caption, that's also vulnerable to cross-site scripting, and Drupal got a patch to fix this vulnerability for some of the versions. Okay, let's look at the last 2. Last 2 is 13670 and 13667. This one is an interesting one. It's about information disclosure, and here attacker could guess the ID of your file and could be able to get the metadata information from a private file. So unless you are saving your private information in a metadata file, you may be okay, but review and see what should be done. And the last one is access bypass vulnerability, and okay, the last one is about access bypass vulnerability where the Workspace module doesn't sufficiently check access permissions. If you're not using this particular module, you are not vulnerable. So spend some time and figure out if you need to patch for these vulnerabilities if your systems are impacted and if you're vulnerable. Alright, the last thing we're going to do before we close the video is just going to go to the Drupal links and just show you what if you go there, and I'll give you this link in my video. So you can quickly read some more information about the vulnerability, and which will help you diagnose the problem quickly. So this one, and here you will see there's a solution section where you can find out what you need to do, and also be able to check the versions that are being impacted, and pay attention to what version you're using and what you need to do to fix the problem. Okay, so that one. Next one is this one, access bypass, and again this one, if you look at pretty much the same version of the software, they are being impacted, and they have the fix available in these particular versions, where if you update it, you will not see the vulnerability anymore. Okay, so that's the second one. Let's look at the third one, and this is the one, this is also moderately critical, and as I told you, this is related to the CKEditor image caption vulnerability. And you look at this one as well, same version of the software, they're impacted, and they have the upgrade or fix available in these versions over here. So evaluate your risk, and we have 2 more to go. The next one, this is the only one that they have marked as critical, and they follow a 4 level of rating system: highly critical, critical, and then 2 others. So it's the it's not their highest, but it's still pretty significant vulnerability in the system. This is also, we have impact in the same versions, and the fix are available in these versions. And if you want to read a little bit more about it, since this is critical, and you can spend some time on these 2 functions and how they work to understand how one can exploit this particular vulnerability. And you can also use your code sanitization to fix this problem. So pay attention to this one. This is probably the most important one in the 5 vulnerability release. And let's look at the last one, and then we can end the video, and I'll give you all the resources that you need. Last one is also moderately critical and cross-site scripting, and as I said, this one Drupal API problem, which does not disable the JSONP by default. So here are some options, some more information about it, how to fix this. And by default, as this article is saying, this is enabled. If it's disabled, then you are not impacted. So there are multiple ways to solve this particular vulnerability as well. So again, so that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you are using a version which is not affected, and if you are, just perform your risk assessment and work accordingly. Thank you very much.